new 2-year contract. Give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, delighted. You know, like I said last week, you know, a lot of hard work's been done, and yeah, to get something sorted quite early in the season as well. It's a bit of a relief as much as I'm excited as well. So yeah, just over the moon really to be staying here for the next couple of years.
Always a time of uncertainty when a new coach comes in, so it must be particularly pleasing that, you know, he's approached you, the club's approached you, you wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, any player will say the same thing. You know, ultimately, as a player, you've got to impress the coach. So no, so for the club and for Willie to speak to me, you know, very early in the season and say that he wants me to be to stick around and be part of this club for the next couple of years. It's you know, obviously I was delighted with that, but you know, like I said, like a lot of hard work's gone in, and a little bit of a different story to last year. Last year was obviously a tough one, and sort of to do my shoulder again at the back end of the season, and like I said, there was a little bit of uncertainty. You know, it was quite a stressful period, if you like, and so to get something sorted nice and early is a bit of a relief, and I can just concentrate on playing every week now.
Just give us a bit of an insight. You said it's a bit of a stressful and worrying time. Just give us a bit of an insight as to, you know, your mentality during the closed season, your what ifs and all the rest of it.
Yeah, it is for any player that's obviously out of contract. It is a difficult period. Like in most ways, don't get talked enough about, but it is at the end of the day. It's, as much as we love playing the game, it's our livelihood as well. You know, we have, you know, mortgages and bills and stuff to pay, and kids to look after. So, you know, it means a lot to us, and you know, sometimes it can be a stressful period when you're coming off contract, but. You know, the most important thing is just sticking to what you're doing. You know, trying to train well, and then obviously if you get the opportunity to play, trying to make sure that you're playing well. And obviously, you know, to get, like I said, to get something started quite early allows me to just concentrate on playing now. So yeah, a lot of hard work's gone in over the pre-season, and you know, the first sort of few games of this season, I've, you know, I feel like I've gone all right. So no, just thankfully got something sorted.
Doing the shoulder twice must show some doubts about. Well, I don't know. You know, is there a fundamental problem there? But it seems as though you got over the top of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a nice time, to be honest. Obviously, after doing it the first time, you work hard to get yourself back and fit, and you know, I was back in the team playing, and yeah, you sort of, I was playing okay, maybe not at my best, but you sort of working your way back, and then, you know, to do it again, it was.
Was it a question of, oh no, not again?
Yeah, no, it was. I remember. I remember now doing it again. Obviously, we played Wakefield at home. I did it early in the game, and I just remember going home that night and just, yeah, I was just heartbroken, to be honest. I just, you know, you have all sorts running through your head, and you're thinking all sorts, and you know, there was a little bit of me thought, oh, is that the end? You know, have I played my last game? But no, like obviously after a couple of days, you know, you calm down a little bit and get your head around it, and you know, it's back to work, and you know, and I suppose like, my attitude from there was just, you know, like I always do. I think is just to work as hard as I possibly can, and get myself into a position where, you know, where I am now. But like I say, a lot of hard work in the off season, you know, working with the physios and stuff like that, and then yeah, just obviously with pre-season was tough anyway. It was a real tough one this year, and I feel like I yeah, had a good go. So no, it's all part of I guess the journey. You have ups and downs, and obviously I've had, you know, a couple of big downs last couple of years, but you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm over that. I feel really good at the moment, and training well, and physically feel good, and enjoying playing, and I think that speaks for everyone, really.
How hard is it to divorce yourself from rugby and not take it home with you?
It is hard. To be honest, you can't. It's really hard to switch off. Even maybe when you've got days off and stuff like, you're still conscious that at the end of the day you're a professional athlete. So everything, from everything that you eat, you sleep, whatever you drink, everything. At the end of the day, you're an athlete and you've got to look after yourself. So you've got to have times where you do switch off, and to be honest, that's something that I've done better this year. Having my days off, actually having days off. Whereas maybe in the past I've always had that attitude of wanting to work harder than everybody else. So maybe on days off I'd be doing extras, and maybe that's not the best thing. Even though you've got the right intention, it's maybe not the best thing for you. And whereas this year and it kind of goes into how we planned pre-season as well. We came in where we worked 5 days and we worked really hard, and that you needed them 2 days to recover, and that's something that I think I've done better this year, and I think I'm feeling the benefits now.
Don't take this the wrong way, but everything you've said there kind of strikes me as a little bit of a imposter syndrome, if you know what I mean. Can you quite believe that you're this Dean Hadley, I'm this professional rugby league player and I've got to live and eat and sleep it and breathe it? Is that you? Is that your personality?
No, it is, yeah. I've always been like that. I've always felt like, even from a young kid, I've never been the biggest, I've never been the fastest or strongest, but I've always had an attitude where I'll work harder than anybody else. And I guess that at times, maybe in the past, it hadn't helped me. Like I said about not having days, sometimes not having days off. Feeling the need that I need to do extra so that I'm ahead of people. Sometimes that can obviously go against you, and that's something I've learned, I think, as I've got a little bit older, and especially this year, I've when I've trained, I train hard. I give everything, full of intensity. But then on them days off, learning to sort of relax, and obviously having kids helps as well.
Oh yeah,
they keep me really busy. They're doing plenty like football and rugby and stuff, so they're keeping me busy, and I'm trying to just enjoy that time as well. Trying to switch off, but obviously being mindful that at the end of the day I am still an athlete, and you've got to still be sort of on it, if you like.
Well, your body only has so much in it, and what you thought when you were 21, 22, when you get to 30 as you are now, you've got to be a little bit frugal about it. You've got to say to yourself, right, well, I've got the runs on the board, so let's just, put the weight of what I'm doing behind the experiences that I've had.
Yeah, I think it's just being smarter, a little bit of experience. Just being smarter, not working too hard, if that makes sense. Like I say, not doing
it does, yeah.
Much. You rest is just as important, I guess, as your training. So yeah, it's just making sure you get that balance right and just being smarter, and maybe just not doing extra things just for the sake of it, having a purpose behind what you're actually doing. And I think as I've got older, and I've learned sort of to balance that. Whereas when you're younger, when you first sort of come through, and you feel like you can train and play every single day and stuff. So, but no, as you get older, you feel it a little bit, but that's where, like, again, just being that bit smarter and doing more of your recovery stuff, that really helps.
What about the influences of Willie Peters? Because he speaks very kindly about you and in glowing terms. And is it a different atmosphere under Willie Peters, and the demands different, but towards the aim of getting you to be the best player that you can be and the team to be the best that it can be?
Yeah, to be honest, the boys are great, and it's always been like that, even for the last few years. But obviously with Willie coming in, he has his own way, and he's all about effort, world-class effort, and just competing. you know, sometimes, you know, things aren't going to be picture perfect and stuff like that, but our effort has got to be there. And from day one, that's been the I suppose that's been the go, if you like. Just everybody with world-class effort, and I think you can see that, like, on the field. You know, I don't think we've been perfect by all means. We haven't, but you can see the sort of togetherness on the field, and everybody willing to work for each other and cover each other, and I think that goes a long way. And I said this last week, but if you look at St Helens, they've been the benchmark for the last sort of 3-4 years, and their game's built on their defence and the world-class effort, you know, like we'll talk about. And obviously we've got a long way to go yet, but you know, if we can keep doing what we're doing in terms of the effort areas and stuff like that, then that's going to help us go a long way.
Talk about defence, and how much influence has Brett Delaney had coming in?
Yeah, he's been great. He's Frugal. He's a bit of a character, but you know, all the boys love him. No, he's been really good, and obviously he's specific to the contact and defence side. So no, he's been great for us, and I think we're improving all the time. And I think you can see it. Obviously at the start of this season, I think we've improved a lot. So no, he's been great, and there's a lot of work to be done yet, but a lot of good stuff as well that we're doing.
Well, every try you defend is one that you don't have to score at the other end, and that seems to me a mentality that's coming through.
Yeah, you can see that on the field. Like, you know, like I said, everybody's working really hard for each other and covering for each other. Not perfect, you know, all the time, and there's going to be times where it breaks down. But you know, if we have that mindset of the world-class efforts like we talk about, then it's going to help us go a long way. And you know, I think defensively so far this season we've been pretty good. And again, against St Helens, you know, they're a top side and they threw a lot at us, but I think we defended really well. And you know, there was a couple of times where they got us on the edge, but we had some world-class efforts. I think Cootie came up with a try saver, and I think there might be another one as well. So you know, that's what it's all about, especially in the big games. You don't tend to get big scores in big games, and it's more about your defence and covering for each other and those type of world-class efforts like we talk about. So you know, for us, that's a really big part of our game, and you know, we've got to keep working hard at that.
Well, your 4 wins on the spin, which is great, and you know, at the end of the weekend, you know, you've got a week off. But what about Castleford? They're not going great. You'll know their coach only too well, having been under the tutelage of Andy last. What are you expecting? Is it a danger game for you?
Oh, it'll be a tough game. There's no doubt about that. You know, regardless of the league table, Castleford have always been good at home. You know, it's like at the Jungle, a really, you know, small pitch, small ground. On top of your atmosphere is good. You know, it's a really good ground to play at as a player. It's going to be a tough game. You know, they're a good team. Obviously, they've maybe not got quite the results they wanted, but you know, they're a good side. They're a very experienced side. You only have to look through their team. They've got some good quality players. So, no, we're expecting the best Castleford side on Friday. You know, it's going to be a really tough game, and you know, like you touched on, I know Lassie's obviously took over, and you know, I worked with Lassie for a long time, and you know, he's a really good coach. He's a smart bloke, and you know, he's really passionate as well. So I've got no doubts that he'll have them well prepared for Friday. And
you're coming up against potentially quite a few former teammates as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Obviously, they've got a few of the ex old boys and stuff. So it's part of the game, innit? You know, every week you seem to come up against players that you have played with before, but you know, that's just part and parcel of the game. You know, come Friday, obviously I'm wearing a Rovers top, and I'm doing everything that I can to get the win Friday.
Well, it didn't work out for Jacob Miller at Hull FC, but he got himself a move from Wakefield to Castleford. So they're looking to target him particularly to make sure that he can't put any fancy downs on you?
Yeah, obviously I've played with Milky a couple of times, obviously at FC, and then I played at Wakey with him as well. He's he's a really good player. Obviously we know his strengths, and he's one obviously to watch on Friday. He's he'll be trying to lead them, as he does, and he's somebody that we've got to obviously keep an eye on. But yeah, with the ball is someone that we could potentially get at and make him do some work, and that could hopefully have an effect with his attack.
Small pitches you've already alluded to. If you don't get it right, if you don't get your matchups right, if you don't get your discipline right, it's a game where, and a pitch where the scoreline can blow out very, very quickly against you. So that's going to be one of the things that you've got to guard against, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Something we've spoke about already is making sure that our attitude and our mindset going into this week's no different. Like I said, they are a good team. They're full of good players, and we've got to be at it. There's no doubt about that. We've already been beaten a few times this year, and if you don't turn up, you will get beaten. So yeah, for us, it's all about attitude and having that mindset going into this game, preparing the best that we possibly can, going into this game to hopefully get the win. But we're under no illusion that it's going to be a tough game. There is no easy games in this competition. It's full of good teams, and everybody feels like they should be in the playoff spots, and Cass are no different. Like I've said, they're a good team full of good players. So for us, it's about having that right attitude, right mindset, and turning up on Friday. What
are your experiences of playing at the Jungle, good or bad?
I don't know, actually. I'd have to. I don't know results. But I know obviously it wasn't the best last year. But no, like I said, it's a good ground to play at. I like it. It's obviously one of the older traditional grounds, but it's.
You say that again, can't you?
Yeah, it is.
Is there enough room in the dressing room, or
they could do with
get changed in shifts?
Yeah, they could do with a bit of an extension there. No, but honestly, it is. It's a good ground to play at, especially when there's a big crowd there, and obviously, I think there's going to be a bigger away following as well. So that's something to really look forward to. I thought our fans on Friday were great. Honestly, you could hear it, coming from that east end. It does really. It gives you that little bit of an extra lift, if you like. So no, it'll be a good crowd Friday. It'll be a good atmosphere, and it's a good game to look forward to.
One final question to you then, Dino. You've won 4 on the trot. You're in 3rd place, making it 5 on the trot and keeping yourself in that elevated position. How important is that going into a break?
It is, but every week's important. Every game's important. It's just as important as it was last week and then the week before. Every game's a tough game, and like I've already said, if you don't turn up with the right attitude and the right mindset, you can be turned over. And like I said, we've already lost a few games this year, so we know that we're not perfect, and we're doing some good stuff at the moment, but there's also a lot of stuff that we can keep improving. So it's just about sort of enjoying the process, if you like, taking it a game at a time. I know it's a bit cliche, a bit boring, but it is. And we've got to be having the right attitude and mindset for Friday night, because Cass are a good team, and if we want the 2 points, then we've got to be at our best. So that's what it's all about.
Good to talk to you, and congratulations on your new deal.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, mate.
Hi, Dean. You all right, pal?
All right.
Yeah, Gwillem covered it all about Cass and the new contract. I just wanted to ask about the 3 lads who have got England call-ups, but especially Jez Litton. You worked with Jez at Hull FC. You've seen him come up the ranks, and I think it's well-deserved, isn't it? Because he sometimes does go under the radar a little bit, but I think it's about time he's had a call-up, and it's great for Hull KR as well, having 3 representatives.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, I'm delighted for the 3 boys. I get on well with them, and like I said, I've you know, with Jez and with Abbo, I've known them quite a long time. So no, I'm delighted for all three of them, and you know, I think it shows. I think it's great for the club as well, because it shows that this is a place where you can come and play rugby, and you can go on to great things. You know, playing international. So you know, it's great news all around, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's no coincidence that as Rovers' stocks rising, they're getting more international, and that can be a benefit in the long run, isn't it? It's making it a more attractive club, and you've seen the rise of it since you've signed, and that's probably one of the reasons why you wanted to stick around as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the club's doing a lot of good things. You know, obviously as players, we're trying to do what we can on the field, and you know, the club's doing some good stuff off the field as well. And you know, I think it's a place where you know players want to come and play. And obviously with the boys getting international call-ups, it just shows that you know this is a team you can come to, and you can develop, and you know, like I say, you can go and play international. So no, it's great news.
Perfect. Well done on the new deal, mate. See you Friday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Right, pal.
If it's all right.
Can I just ask one quick one, please?
Yeah, of course.
All right, you're all right. I was just going to ask you, saying a bit earlier to Gwilym about never being like the biggest, fastest, strongest, and the focus this year is very much on effort. Do you think that's, and like whereas maybe sort of the season before, it's kind of been like sort of like flashy whole KR flair, like try and play expansive sort of stuff. Do you think this sort of almost like back to basics where effort is just number one? Do you think that's why you're probably having such a good season personally?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's well, yeah, you could be right. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Obviously, for me, that's something I've always sort of pride myself on, is you know those effort areas, if you like, and maybe doing all the unseen bits. You know, I've said it before. Maybe I'm not the most sort of fashionable type of player where you know grabbing headlines and stuff like that, but for me, it's all about the team and doing all the right things for the team and whatever the coach wants. You know, sometimes it's just those little details that you know you don't even sort of notice or anything. But yeah, for me, it's just doing what I can for the team, and that's how I've always been, and you know more so this year as well. Just obviously buying into how Willie wants us to go, how he wants us to be as a team, and it's just about buying into that. And I'm not the only one. There's loads of other lads that are, you know, that have improved this year as well, and sort of we're all buying into it together. So, and I think you can see that on the field that you know as a team we're all together and we're all doing those extra efforts, if you like. So no, like I say, it's not just myself, but you know, as a team we're all buying into it.
Yeah, definitely. And on the England call-ups as well. So obviously the three lads that got picked. Assume that we do have a test series against Tonga at the end of the season. Who would be a fourth or fifth player that you might tip to get a call up come the end of the season in the squad at the moment? Would you see yourself there?
Oh, I'd love the opportunity to play international. I think for any player that's got to be the goal. You know, me more so than ever. Yeah, I'd love it, but obviously I know that I've got a big job to do here at OKR, and that's obviously all I'm focused on is, you know, every week, just enjoying the process. Like I've said before, just enjoying that process of every week, just preparing for each game and being the best that I can be. You know, I feel like I'm doing sort of a lot of good stuff in terms of like I said, the effort area stuff and defensively. But there's areas that I can obviously keep improving, and that's for me to keep working on every week. So, and as for the other boys, you know, I'm sure there's a few of us. Obviously, Hawley's, you know, played a load of games for England, and you know he's playing really well still. So I'm sure he'll be in the frame, and I'm sure there's a couple of others as well.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, thank you very much, Matt, and go well on Friday.
Thank you. Cheers.
Lovely. Cheers, gents. If you need out sending over, just let me know.
Cheers. Thank you.